Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's ETA Prime back here again. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the all-new 2025 Gigabyte AERO X16. If you're not familiar with Gigabyte's AERO line, this is geared more towards creators or professionals. But given what we've got here, this can play in both worlds. Because with this, we've got a powerful RTX 5000 series GPU paired up with the new Ryzen AI CPU. And the overall look, when it's closed up, definitely looks like a professional laptop. So you're not going to be traveling around with a laptop that has a bunch of RGB on it. Of course, we do have a backlit keyboard here, and we also have a little bit of upgradability here when it comes to the RAM and storage. So like I mentioned, we do have that backlit keyboard. It's a single zone RGB. You can change it from software. It's got a 16-inch, 165 hertz IPS display with a resolution of 2560 by 1600. Would be nice to have an OLED, but when it comes down to it, those do cost a lot more. This will definitely get you by, and it looks great. When it comes to I/O, over here on the left-hand side, we've got our power input, Gigabit Ethernet port, full-size HDMI, USB 3.2, and USB 4 that runs at a 40 gig protocol. Over on the right-hand side, we've got a 3.5mm audio jack, a USB 2.0 port, and another full-size USB 3.2 port. The Gigabyte AERO line is geared towards creators and professionals, but with the specs we have here, this is definitely going to be able to handle any AAA game you throw at it, and that's because this is powered by the AMD Ryzen AI 350. Not a super high-end CPU from AMD, but we do get 8 cores, 16 threads, and it's configured in a way where we have 4 Zen 5 cores and 4 Zen 5C cores. The Zen 5 cores will clock up to 5 GHz, and the 5C cores will do up to 3.5. We also have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5070 laptop GPU with 8 gigs of GDDR7 VRAM, and the TGP on this will do up to 85 watts. This unit came with 32 gigs of SODIMM DDR5 running at 5600. It's got that 165 Hz 16-inch IPS display with a resolution of 2560 by 1600. Dual M.2 slots, and this came populated with a single 1TB M.2 drive. It's got Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.2, a 76 watt-hour battery, and we can go from 0 to 50% in 30 minutes using the included 150 watt charger. The weight on this is coming in at only 1.9 kilograms, and it's running Windows 11 out of the box. Gigabyte does offer a couple different variants of this, and you can pick this up with the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5050, but obviously we've got the more powerful version here with that 5070. So I've been messing around with this laptop for the past couple days, and overall, I've had a really good experience with it. Trackpad, super smooth. We've got that oversized trackpad here, so it does make it really easy to navigate. Keyboard is silent except for the spacebar. It's kind of weird, but they do advertise this as a very quiet keyboard. Once you start tapping on that spacebar, it does get a bit louder. The screen looks great. We've got a high refresh rate here, but I do wish they offered this version with an OLED panel. Now, when it comes to built-in software, Gigabyte is really pushing their new Gmate software. Basically, from this suite, we can control every aspect of this laptop. We've got some performance modes here, and each one of these can be fully customized. So you can change the fan curve. You can actually use the discrete GPU or the iGPU if you want to with each one of these modes. This also has their new update center, and for the most part, I'm in game mode with this unit. And on battery, it's going to swap over to that iGPU. But from here, we can fully control that. We could use the discrete GPU all the time if we want to. And it's got a little bit of an AI assistant like everything nowadays. You can ask it to change your performance mode. It'll do that for you. But one thing that I couldn't find was the RGB control for the built-in keyboard. We can change the RGB. It's just a single zone. I just asked the AI assistant and it brought it right up here. Now, I'm not exactly sure how many times I'm going to utilize this, and now I know where the RGB control is, so it's really up to you. It's pretty cool that I did have a little bit of help here and I didn't have to go searching online, but in the end, I just personally don't know how much I'll use it. Now, the first thing I wanted to take a look at here were some benchmarks, and I did find it a bit odd that they paired the 5070 laptop GPU up with the AI 350. It's not a super powerful CPU, and we've got those Zen 5C cores which aren't clocked up that high. But when it comes to Geekbench 6, performance mode here, single core 2768, multi 12234. Now, I do believe that this AI 350 is holding the RTX 5070 back just a bit. but I also ran some GPU benchmarks here using 3D Mark. Steel Nomad, total score 2,836, and our FPS was 28.37. And I also ran Time Spy. With this, we came in with a 12,341. Graphics score up there at 12,830, and our CPU score at 10,000. Over on their website, they state that this 5070 can boost up to 85 watts, and for the most part, while gaming, I didn't see it go up to 85. The CPU here actually doesn't need a lot of wattage, so the cooling system they have is actually awesome. This thing doesn't get that loud, even while playing AAA games at 1600p. The first game I tested was Cyberpunk 2077, 2560 by 1600. If you take a look at Afterburner, you can see that our CPU is only pulling up to around 30 watts in some cases, and that's been across the board. I mean, with everything that I've tested, it's not 100% maxed out. The GPU is definitely taking a brunt of the abuse, but I do think that with a more powerful CPU, we could see a higher frame rate here. But luckily, we've got that 5000 series GPU, so we can use DLSS multi-frame gen. And with that set to X4, we're now seeing over 140 FPS with this game. And with a laptop like this, I mean, being geared towards creators for, different kinds of workloads, I think this is pretty decent. I would not mind running frame generation with my games on this setup at all.
Suspect's vehicle has been located. Details have been sent.
Next up, Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. 2560 by 1600, I dropped it down to high settings and I set DLSS to balanced. So with it at ultra settings and DLSS set to quality, we're only seeing an average of around 58 FPS, so we can't get over that 60 mark. But just taking it down a bit does net us an average over 70 FPS. Next up, we've got Borderlands 3, 2560, 1600, just at ultra settings. There's one more we could go up, and I do believe we'd be able to run this just fine. But this is one of those games you really need to let those shaders cache, because going into this, when I first started it up, I mean, it was just hiccuping all over the place. After playing through a little bit, it did iron itself out, and we're seeing over 80 FPS. And the final game we have is Doom the Dark Ages 2560 1600 at high settings. And the reason I went to high was because the VRAM limit here inside of the settings for the game just goes over 8 gigs at ultra. So going down to high is kind of where it's at with this 8 gig RTX 5070. But with these settings here, I mean, it worked really well. I kind of got lost in playing it. I just love this game. And yeah, this is something you could definitely have a lot of fun with. The final thing I wanted to talk about here were CPU and GPU temps. Initially, given, the form factor of this being so thin, I thought it would get really hot. But through everything that I've tested so far, in-game mode with the stock fan curve there, our average CPU temps for 1600p gaming were only 63 degrees Celsius. Maximum recorded was 78, and that's through even benchmarks and everything. And when it comes to that GPU, the RTX 5070, average 1600p gaming, only 62 degrees Celsius, and the maximum I saw was 76. And this thing doesn't sound like a jet engine. I'm not exactly sure what they've got going on here, but then again, keep in mind, this GPU will only do up to 85 watts, and for the most part, we didn't see that. And while gaming, we saw that our CPU was only doing around 30 watts. So overall, definitely a solid machine. Really thin, super lightweight. We've got that RTX 5070 power, but I do wish we had a more powerful CPU here. Even something like the HX370 would have been nice. And over on their website, I'm only seeing the Ryzen AI 7 350 paired up with this unit. But yeah, if you're looking for a thin and light laptop for content creation and just professional work, and then on the side, you can definitely get some gaming done on it with that discrete GPU, this might be a really good choice. I'm going to try to hold on to this for about a week or two because I've got a trip coming up. It'd be really cool to just take this for, video creation on the go and just see how it performs there. So if you want to see a video like that, let me know in the comments below. But that's going to wrap it up for this one. If you're interested in learning a little more about the AERO X16 from Gigabyte, I'll leave links in the description. Like always, thanks for watching.